Thanks for tuning in to our seller interview series. Of today, we've got an Amazon FBA business for sale in the health and fitness niche. Created in June 2015, this business makes $9,383 per month in net profit, and the listing number for this business is 40965. Now, we do these interviews to give potential buyers more information about both the seller and the businesses they're looking to purchase. We hope these insights are helpful for you in making a buying decision. We got the seller with us today to go through the business and cover everything from niche selection to traffic and monetization. Thanks for coming on, Hen.
Yeah, no problem.
Before I dive into the first question here, just to give a quick overview of the business. As I already mentioned, it was built in June 2015, has a monthly revenue of $32,389, with expenses sitting at $23,006 for that total net profit of $9,383. Now that is over a 12-month average. Included with the sale of the business are all the process documents and the actual seller central account. So that being said, Hin, can you tell me a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses? Is this kind of your first one? Is it one of many? What's the story there?
Yeah, so I first started out running a digital marketing agency, and so I dealt with a lot of online businesses there. But I realized it wasn't exactly what I wanted. I didn't like having to deal with clients and the time required and the scalability of that. So from that, I decided to build an Amazon business. It was much more passive, and that just leads me to where I am today.
Yeah, definitely. And so how did you come up with the idea for this business? Without giving away the actual niche and product, obviously, but did you do like competitor research? Was it something you were into already? Where did that come from?
Yeah, so it was kind of random. So this business actually has products in a few various niches. So we have some stuff in fitness, some in home and outdoors, I think one in kitchen. So it's kind of varied, but I kind of like that because it gives more diversity and it allows it to be scalable. And the way the business is structured, it's designed to be like that just so it can grow.
Excellent. For someone that isn't familiar with Amazon FBA in particular, could you just briefly describe how this business is making money?
Yeah, so I mean, essentially we'll source products overseas from China, and then we'll sell the products on the Amazon European marketplaces. So there's 5 European marketplaces right now: UK, Germany, France, Italy, Spain. So we'll sell to all those marketplaces. And so whenever a sale is made, Amazon will fulfill it, so they'll send it directly to the consumer, so you won't have to touch it at all. And the only thing that you really have to be on top of is making sure the product quality is good and making sure you're in stock at all times. So just checking the inventory levels. Everything else, Amazon pretty much takes care of, and the rest of the business runs itself essentially. So it's a super passive business.
Excellent. That's a great description of what it is for sure. So since the business is fairly passive once you have it up and going, outside of, obviously inventory management or any kind of growth thing you're trying to do with it, why are you selling the business? Why not just keep it and keep cashing those checks?
Yeah, so what I really want to do, so I have another business that I started, and I really wanted to be able to provide more cash for that business because it's growing as well. So I think at the end of the day, I can only have time to focus on one of them. And so that's just the one I chose. So this one, unfortunately, I have to let go of it.
Gotcha. So you're going to use the capital to reinvest into this other business that you're working on right now?
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. So when you first started this business, when you source all the products, you get it up on Amazon, how fast did it take you to start getting sales? Was it the first week or did it take a few months?
Yeah, so it was actually, I remember very vividly, actually. It was the first day we got our first sale, actually. So it happened pretty quickly. And I think a big part of that is because we're in a very uncompetitive marketplace. So a lot of sellers will sell in the US or whatnot, but in Europe, it's a lot less competitive, which is part of the reason why I chose it. And so it's a lot easier to start getting sales compared to a competitive space like the States.
Yeah, definitely. I was going to ask you why you started with Europe over the States, but that makes sense. It does seem like it would be less competitive over there. I guess you found that to be true from your personal experience so far. Is there anything you learned in this business, like as you've been operating, like one thing that stands out for you as something that worked really well for you that you might apply to this other business of yours, or maybe you already have applied it?
Yeah, so I'm a massive fan of low competition. So I remember watching this webinar by Peter Thiel before, and he said his whole mantra was competition is for losers. And that's kind of the whole philosophy behind this business and even my new business, right? We want to go into areas where no one is really, spending a lot of their time. but there's demand still there, right? And because of that, that's why I think there's a lot of potential in this business because there's not a lot of competition.
Definitely. So you're going after these very low competition Amazon products or low competition in the Amazon marketplace, and that's something that's obviously worked out well for you. Is there anything you did that didn't work? Anything that just kind of fell flat on its face?
Yeah, so there's some products once in a while that just don't work. So right now we have 6 active products, and so in total we've launched 8 products. So 2 we've dropped, and by dropped, we didn't lose money. We still sold out all the products, so we recoup all the costs from that. But once in a while, you'll still have 1 or 2 products that don't work. But from those 2 products, like I said, we didn't lose money, so it was still a learning experience for us.
Yeah, definitely. It can be a harsh learning experience if you buy a little bit too much of that product once when you're testing it, right? But that's good. It didn't seem to hurt you too much. When it comes to the actual traffic with your business, I know most Amazon products, Amazon FBA style businesses, they get the majority of their traffic from Amazon Organic. Is that the same for you, or are you running PPC ads? Are you doing anything outside of Amazon?
No, it's 100% Amazon right now.
And is that all Amazon Organic?
So we do run PPC ads, but the majority of it is Amazon Organic.
Cool, man. And do you have a website at all for like branding purposes or anything like that as well? Or is it just all pure? No? Okay. How many products do you have?
So 6 active products right now.
Are they all underneath the same brand, or are they kind of all on their own?
So they're all kind of spread out. So they're not particularly part of one brand.
Okay, cool. How stable are the earnings? Do you find any of them have any kind of seasonality?
So when I choose a product, I usually choose something that is non-seasonal. So all these products generally sell, pretty much the same throughout the whole year. Obviously, except for, Christmas, you have that spike. January, February, there's still that spike in sales. But I think that's just part of any product. Otherwise, it's pretty stable throughout.
And out of the 6 products, do you have one that's kind of the lion's share earner of the 6, or do all 6 of them kind of carry their own weight?
I wouldn't say they're completely even. There's one product that does really well, but a lot of the other products also carry their weight. So I wouldn't say it's spread evenly.
Cool. And when you're shipping, because you already said you're manufacturing in China, right?
Yeah.
Do you have multiple suppliers for your product, or mainly one supplier?
Yeah, so I think each product pretty much has its own supplier.
Do you have backup suppliers as well in place for that, or no?
Some of them, yeah. So the good thing about a lot of these products aren't proprietary or they're not custom, so there are other suppliers that can do them.
Cool. When you're shipping them to the Europe market, are you doing that by air, by boat? How are you going about that?
Yeah, so I think there's only maybe 2 products that would be suitable by air because the other ones would just be too expensive. And that was kind of done intentionally because I wanted, like I was saying before, I like the less competition stuff. So I try and find some stuff that are bigger and even heavier. So things you have to do by sea. And a lot of new sellers just won't go there. And
right.
So that's what I really like.
It's not a terrible idea, actually, if you have the logistic knowledge to do that. I'm assuming you have some kind of method to kind of guide you when you're reordering them. Like, do you look at certain trends, or do you have some kind of system in place for that tells you like, all right, now I need to reorder product?
Yeah, so I guess one of the biggest tasks that take up the most time, and by most time I probably mean like 90 minutes every 2 weeks, is just filling in the spreadsheet. And all the spreadsheet is I just fill in the number of sales per product, and it just lets me determine if it's on an uptrend or downtrend, and just lets me see if there are any problems or forecast any problems. And based on that, I'll reorder more products or I'll make some changes to the listings. But the spreadsheet really guides everything.
Good deal. When it comes to opportunities, like let's just hypothetically pretend you're going to keep this business, you're going to keep growing it. What would you focus on for the least risky path to grow the business?
So the least risky path is definitely expanding to more marketplaces. So in the States, you have Amazon and then you have eBay, right? But in Europe, there are also a lot of specific marketplaces for each country. So let's say Germany, for example, there are specific German marketplaces that, a lot of English people won't even know about, right? And so you could easily put your product on there at no cost, essentially, right? Because all the listings are already translated. So you just have to put that listing up there and then fulfill it from your Amazon warehouses.
Is there a reason why you never did that yourself? Just not enough time, or what's that?
Yeah, I mean, it all came down to time.
Understandable.
Yeah, the other company's just taking up too much time, and there's a lot of things I wanted to do, but Yeah, I don't have capacity.
I think that's a great idea personally, doing multiple sales channels like that. And some people could see real boosts from it. I mean, why not? Amazon's already fulfilling it regardless of the platform, right? So I'm assuming that you'd be able to still fulfill it by Amazon, even if you go to some weird, no one's ever heard of German marketplace, right? Or unless
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
German. But would you do anything different if you were, just incredibly risky, just kind of threw caution to the wind and wanted to grow the business as aggressively, as quickly as possible? Would you do anything different?
Yeah, so if I wanted a really fast growth, I just launch a ton of products. And so I've tried to build a system around that, a process, so that it becomes less, how do I say it? So the only bottleneck that's going to stop you is the amount of cash you have, right? So, I mean, right now I have an intern that's helping me launch products, helping me source products, and I'm trying to get her fully trained so that she can completely run the whole system herself. So she's not there yet. She's not 100% there yet. So she can't do that yet. But that's the idea, right? So that, it all comes down to the amount of cash you have. And if you have enough cash to launch 100 products, then you have the capacity to do it.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I would say that would be a very aggressive but very powerful growth strategy if you have the right processes down. What do you think is the biggest risk, in your opinion, a business like this has that buyers should be aware of?
Yeah, so definitely competition. So, I mean, even though I go into low competition niches, eventually people are going to come regardless, right? So it's just all about mitigating that risk and, continuing to choose products that are bigger, that are heavier, maybe even more expensive or more obscure niches. Just the fact that it's in Europe alone, that already weeds out a lot of competition. But, if you just keep doing those things, your products will be around for a while.
That's good advice. When it comes to work required, you already kind of mentioned it briefly earlier, but what are you doing on like a weekly to monthly level to maintain this business currently?
Yeah, so on a daily level, I'm still responding to customer emails, and I don't know why I haven't outsourced that yet, but it could be so easily outsourced, but I don't know why I haven't done it yet. On a weekly level, someone's managing the PPC, and then bi-weekly, I mentioned that spreadsheet, so that kind of takes up the most time. But again, filling in those numbers, you can have someone easily pop those numbers into a spreadsheet. On a monthly level, because you're in the UK, you just got to remit some taxes, but that takes like 10 minutes a day, so it's super straightforward.
The person who runs your PVC, is that like a VA? Is that an agency you're using or a full-time employee of your own?
That's just a freelancer from Upwork.
Okay, would they be still managing the PVC for the new buyer as well, if the buyer wishes?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I don't see why he wouldn't.
Awesome. Is there any kind of skills you'd suggest a buyer to have before they purchase a business like this?
So I think they have to be good with numbers. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you got to know your numbers. So, I mean, that's why all my spreadsheets are very detailed in, the cost and, the profit and all that. So I think that's super important. And the second thing is developing systems, right? If you develop the right systems, then you can grow, then you can scale it, because I think that's the ultimate prize. And this business is set up in a way that it'll allow you to do that. So yeah, that's what I would do.
Now, would you be willing to sign a non-compete with a buyer?
Yeah, absolutely.
And how much support would you be willing to give that buyer?
So, I mean, yeah, complete support. So I'm going to have a document that I'm going to pass on to any buyer so they'll know, exactly what I'm doing and the whole process. And then they can even use that document to train people. But then on top of that, obviously the Skype calls. So, 30-day support and a couple Skype calls. Yeah, I'd be more than happy to do that.
Now, obviously, the best case scenario here for you and for Empire Flippers is someone comes in and buys this business at full list price. But would you at all be open to someone coming in saying 80% up front and 20% after a certain training period has passed, or perhaps 20% for a certain few months? Or is that something you'd be open to?
Yeah, I'd be open to discussing that.
Excellent. Before I ask you my final question here, just to give a quick summary of the business for everyone listening out there. As I mentioned at the top, the business was built in June 2015, has a monthly revenue of $32,389, expenses sitting at $23,006 for that total net profit of $9,383 over a 12-month average. Now, included with the sale of the business are all the process documents that you just mentioned, and as well as a seller central account. So my final question to you, Hin, is what is your best pitch in 30 seconds or less on why someone should purchase this business?
Yeah, so if you're looking for a business that's extremely passive, then FBA businesses is the way to go. In terms of competition, this business has little competition, so you don't need to maintain it. You don't have to worry about hijackers or any black hat tactics that you'd get in listings in the States, for example. And then finally, there's just a large growth potential. Like I was saying, there's a system in place and a process for finding new products and sourcing it and listing it. So the potential to scale it is there. All just depends on the cash you have to provide for that.
Yeah, I think that's a great pitch. And I think it's interesting you start with the European market. And you're right, there are so many other marketplaces in each one of those individual countries someone would go after, even in the USA if they wanted to expand in the USA as well. So I find that super intriguing. For everyone out there, if you're watching this on YouTube and you want more information, the link will be below this video in the actual description. That will take you to our marketplace listing. Now, if you're watching this on the actual listing page and you want more information, you can become a depositor today. It's super easy. All you have to do is click the button, make a deposit, and you'll be given everything you need to review this business. So, Hin, thank you so much for coming on, man. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And can I add one more thing before we go?
Yeah, of course, please.
Yeah, one last thing I forgot to mention is that, I mentioned we have 6 active products right now, but we're actually in the process of launching 4 new products. So those products are picked, using the same process that I've used to launch all the other products. We've gotten the samples, we're just evaluating them right now. So whoever buys the business will also get all those 4 new products. And those products aren't evaluated into the price right now, right? So you'll get a lot of upside from that. And yeah, I think it'll be well worth it.
I gotta say, your first 30-second pitch was pretty good, but that is definitely the better 30-second pitch. Getting 4 vetted products for free with the business, that's an awesome bonus right there.
Little icing on the cake.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. With that said, it's been a pleasure, man.
Yeah, thanks, Greg.